Let's begin with another topic, main topic, which is the critical analysis of national curriculum for English language teaching. And this one is in the context of Pakistan. And this curriculum is about, if you just see one of the first modules of this course, you will see the link telling you how to download this document, right? This was set forth in 2006, but we're gonna start, and this document is from grades 1 to 12. Well, here we're gonna start with the background to language curriculum design policies in Pakistan. We'll look at the policies, the historical overview, and how this document came into being. Well, this document came into being in 2006, but there were a number of efforts which were, were taken even before the production of this document. Well, as we have already taken a good look at some of the basic parameters or the contents of language curriculum design. So the language curriculum design is a blueprint of general guidelines. In other words, it just gives the general guides and in what way English language to be taught, and where and how, and who is going to teach it, and what professional knowledge the teachers need. That's the blueprint. That's just the parameters that are set forth in a language curriculum document. But in the context of Pakistan, we've got a scenario, and this curriculum came into being in 2006, and it became operational, if I'm not wrong, in 2010, which is very recently, right? And this curriculum is set forth both for the private and the public schools, right? The public schools are required to follow this document, and on the other hand, the private institutes and colleges, they have this flexibility to use this document or devise their own individual curricula. So individual schools, on the other hand, in the private ones, they can have their own specific syllabuses, and similarly, the government schools, the state-run schools, can also individually they can have their own specific syllabuses as well, right? So what we're gonna look at in this main topic is we'll see the relationship between the textbooks and the language curriculum design. Well, if you look at historically, the textbooks the first curriculum was the 2002 one, and this was sort of primarily it laid emphasis on teaching English language through textbooks, right? So as I mentioned earlier, like Pakistani National English Language Curriculum in 2002, that was the result of various efforts which were taken before, and it's important to understand this 2002 document because it will help us better appreciate the language curriculum document of 2006. Well, in brief, although the space and time doesn't allow me to dwell in length on this one in details, but here we can briefly see this was divided into 4 documents, actually, from class 1 to 5 and 6 to 8, and then 9 to 10 and 9 to 12. So these were some of the divisions set forth in that document. So the overall approach, if you just critically look at this document of 2002, it's more like product approach, where it's a sort of ad hoc approach where the students are seen as typical individuals, where their individual needs are seen not to be given emphasis, right? And where it's believed if the students across the board, I mean across the country, they have their skills and objectives met, and if they have developed accuracy and fluency, they could become better learners, and they could do well in their professional or personal or social lives. Well, this reflects a discrete viewpoint where English was seen as having isolated things to be acquired by the students. And what about the question of creative and critical faculty to be developed by the curriculum? And there were some tasks which were considered to be controlled and mechanical ones. And it's important here, the 2002 document, the reason why it was revised and new document came into being emerged in 2006 with the efforts of so many academics and technocrats and other political figures, was that offered some tasks which were considered to be of controlled nature, where the natural flavor of the tasks were a sort of non-existent, right? So the main objectives in that curriculum were just to enhance the communicative competence and the writing skills. Mainly the emphasis was on enhancing the writing and reading skills, but on the other hand, the listening skills were also given somewhat, a lip service. So this is what I mean. If you look at historically, we've got number of efforts, we have number of measures which were already taken before the 2006 document emerged, and those measures revolved around finding out a balance of teaching language which could not only lay emphasis on enhancing students' accuracy but also fluency, or not only the language systems but also their skills. And this is what this brief historical discussion of to the language curriculum of 2006 signifies.